Ellen McCauley, you pray it off. A few weeks ago, one of the members said, Ellen, you've talked about whole 30, but I haven't been in the group, and I'd like you to talk about it. Now, I don't believe in fad diets. I don't believe in eating cabbage soup every day or buying a product or just drinking liquid. But I feel that Whole30 is something that not only can you try, I do think it's sustainable. I did it for 2 years and got to the lowest weight I ever got. I put weight on since because I could tell you a million excuses. Oh, I had this trauma, this, and this. But the fact of the matter is, when I do Whole30 and do it religiously, it has been the best diet ever for me in my whole life, because my body does not need or want, I want it, but my body doesn't, dairy, gluten, or sugar. It just says whenever I do those items, I gain a disproportionate amount of weight, because those fat cells are like, here it comes, I'm going to take it and I'm going to hang on to it. But when I get rid of those things, I feel better. And here's another thing. You don't have to do it for 2 years like I did it. Maybe you can say, you know what, I'm going to do Whole30 during Lent. During Lent, I'm going to give up dairy, gluten, and sugar, and I'm going to follow this plan just for 30 days. But the key is, and I think that's a good idea, I'm going to do that. I started it already. And then, when Lent is over, maybe I'll introduce a teeny bit of dairy, maybe a yogurt, or yogurt or a piece of cheese on it, an egg or something. And then see how I do for a month, and then maybe do Whole30 religiously the next month. You hear what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's sustainable for life, although some people do it, but let's just talk about some of the benefits. It's better for your sleep because you don't have those sugar spikes. You do have more energy. When I am not eating junk, and you got to tell me, Rollin, when you're burning 1,500, 1,400 calories, do you have more energy? Yeah. People told me tonight that joined in session 29, they're wearing pants they haven't worn in years. They never got rid of them, and it feels good when you're wearing clothes that you've wanted to get into. You're more optimistic and alert because you're in control. You're in control, and that is empowering. You say goodbye to digestive distress. You know, I have to agree with Rollin. I had terrible GERD. I was even going to see a doctor, and they were putting the scope, and they were talking about esophageal issues. Since I started Pray It Off, I've never had another issue ever. I've never had an episode of GERD. I have no problems with my esophagus. But I would have had maybe serious issues if I would have continued on the route I was taking. And it says you'll be happier. When your blood sugar is stable, life is happier and more peaceful, clear-headed. You'll want to drink water because it's so nice and cold. Put a ton of ice in it. I've been doing that. I put the ice in my water with a little bit of water in the morning. I drink it right down. It's delicious. Anyone else doing that, like I mentioned? Oh, one other. I don't know where. I don't know. I'm going to have to go to your house, fill the glass with ice, and put it by your bed. Thank you, Mary Ellen. But it really does help. I've been eating more fruit and vegetables this week, too. Like one night I had, I only like my mushrooms really white. I don't like them once they got a little brown, but when they're white, I could eat them till the days came home, till the cows come home. So I had white mushrooms, little cut up cherry tomatoes, and cucumbers, just in a dish. It was like delicious. I didn't need mayonnaise. I didn't need a dressing. It was delicious just the way it was. You savor your food more. Savor. Oh, these Brussels sprouts, yum, yum, yum. When you're hungry, Brussels sprouts taste darn good. Also, you are able to separate emotional hunger from real hunger. You know, I heard a person tonight talking, and you know, some people get worried that I'm going to tell their story, but there's 70 people here, and they don't know it's you. You know, they don't know who tells me their stories. But she said, you know, now that she's retired, she struggles more being in the house because there's where the food is. But you know, it's interesting. If you just say to yourself, I'm only going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all the food in the world can be there. But if you tell yourself that's all you're going to do and stick to it, if your yes means yes and your no means no, what I find is the biggest deterrent to weight loss is you're not honest with yourself. You break the deals you make with yourself. You say, I'm only going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then, oh, Girl Scout cookies? Well, I'm going to do it today. You break your deals with yourself. When you start keeping your word to yourself, everything is possible. When you say, I'm going to go to the gym, and you do, anything is possible. When you keep breaking your word to yourself, you don't believe yourself. You don't think you're capable of taking weight off and keeping it off. Your skin's brighter, your hair's shinier, your tummy's flatter. You can feel that bloat when you have it. You can feel it. Also, you feel good about your short-term success. You start losing weight, you feel good about it. Also, your body image will improve. Your blood sugar, that's very important, especially the older you get. You'll stop dieting and just eat. When a plan becomes your way of life, it no longer becomes a diet. I can never eat a lot of carbs the rest of my life. My body doesn't like them. I want English muffins. I want a roll on my hot dog and hamburger. I can't even have a hot dog. My body doesn't. You have to do what your body likes. Your body rules. If you have a hamburger on a roll and you have an English muffin and you gain weight, and you don't gain weight when you get rid of the English muffin and the roll, maybe once a week you can have a roll, maybe once a week someday I can have an English muffin, but my body does not like it. I'm going to stop right there and talk a little bit more about WHOLE30.